and a good evening here. My name is Alex. If you're new to the channel, I cover a wide range of topics. Today, I felt compelled to make a video on just the whole religion and Wes Huff, the Billy Carson debate. I'm not going to talk too much about the Billy Carson debate, honestly. We already know what happened with that. But it was more of the video that Wes Huff, put out saying he probably won't debate anybody. I just genuinely believe for someone with his expertise, I can understand he's busy, but just to say there's no time at all, I find that hard to believe. 20, 30 minutes, you could pump these out and just keep disproving people. And, for someone who really is on the fence like myself, I grew up in a Lutheran church. My father was a Muslim, my mom Lutheran. When my dad came to this country, he pretty much stopped practicing Islam. So from what I understood, he really didn't, it wasn't a part of our life at all. I remember when we went to church, he would say, pray for me. I don't know. I come from a pretty unique perspective because having half my family probably practicing Islam and then, half are Christian. And then me, I always had a question, very young, saying, what about all the people who don't ever learn about Jesus? They just all go to hell. And it honestly scared me because I was someone who had so many questions at a young age, and none of my peers really seemed to have the same thoughts as they did. So I would just continue to go and do what I had to do. But Lutheran is so laid back. It's not like I was Catholic or anything. But anyways, the point is, religion's never made, I can never confidently say yes, I just fully believe. I will say, anytime I go on a flight, I do pray every time for the pilot, everyone on board, everyone that's in our lives that we care about. I do say a prayer, and even if it's something I can't say I fully believe, it is the thing I go to when I feel nervous. So with that being said, I kind of want to dive into this quick and how I think Wes Huff, I do believe he is, it seems like he's afraid. For people on the fence like me who find this kind of content extremely interesting, I would want to see these things. So one of the debates that I think would be really good is seeing a debate with someone like the Gnostic Informant and Wes Huff. I did see a clip of Gnostic Informant literally talking about Wes Huff not wanting to debate him. He does a lot of podcasts with a guy named Derek. He runs a show called Myth Vision. Both these channels give out incredible information. And I would like the debate to go even further, because if you look back to when Kip Davis and Amon Hillman had a debate, the reason it didn't work was because you have an expert in one and an expert in other, and there's a missing translation. So I think doing one of these religious debates does require multiple people. So that's why I would think if you could get Amon Hillman, Gnostic Informant, Kip Davis, and Wes Huff to do a debate, this would help piggyback off each other, and they can bring all that brain power and put it into one conversation and help people like me and so many others that are, kind of on the fence. I think Amon Hillman, I really find his work just very interesting. Last I checked, I was in the Discord group. I signed up on one of his live streams. I haven't been in it. I really am busy with all my regular work stuff, so that's kind of just like fun stuff for me. And when I do fun stuff, I kind of try to make these videos. So but I just want to be transparent that I think a lot of this stuff is interesting, and just because you want to hear from different groups and you have a completely different perspective, that just helps you understand and either solidify your position or make you truly wonder. And I'm someone who, I'm not dogmatic on anything. I could be swayed in a conversation with those four any direction. You just see so many things that Amon Hillman said about Greek and Hebrew, and it's like when you're not a real expert and you really just are passionate about this information. You're not an expert, kind of like what happened with Billy Carson. I think he's extremely passionate about this stuff, but unfortunately that podcast didn't go well for him. And there's a lot of other things you could look at, and I'm not too concerned about kicking someone while they're down. But as far as that conversation goes, I think that would be good. And then two substitutes you could have was Derek from Myth Vision or Dan McClellan. I think getting a really good team of people together and do a show where you could have a debate would help bring a little more transparency. And if things get heated, you could just kind of tag team into the next person, however that might go. And just one more thing with Amon Hillman. I think the reason I like his information so much and his stance is because he goes to the source. I pulled up a quote right here. It was about, adultery. And, in the Bible, it says Deuteronomy 22:22 further reinforces this saying, if a man found lying with the wife of another man, both of them shall die. And that's not that verse particular, but just the fact that if you're going by the word, the actual transcript, why with over time has it changed so much where you're not killing people for adultery? If anything, Islam, and again, I'm not in one group, anything like that, but Islam, if you look at what's happening in the news, just I saw a woman being arrested, I think, for making fun of someone who was covered up, in Dubai, maybe somewhere. And, they take it serious, and people who aren't in that, it's shocking to them to see, like, how do people live like that? But if anything, Islam goes by the word of their religion more than anything. Compared to, like, if you look at the average Christian in America, not talking like shit, but realistically, they can't say one or two Bible verses just like off the top of their head. So I think when you look at the passion and like what you're actually going by in the book, that's where all these translations and word and like what you believe in, it gets hazy because it's like you're not really going off the actual word. You water it down because you're not obviously going to kill people nowadays. You get a divorce. So that's another thought, that with Amon Hillman, he's so strict on where is the source. The source, where is it from? So I think having those people in a room would be pretty interesting to watch. And if you haven't seen any of these people, I put their pictures up on the screen here so you can go dig for yourself and look at these channels. And honestly, the whole reason I wanted to get this video done today too, I saw Wes Huff's video came out with Joe Rogan, but there was a woman named Angela Ford on the Sean Ryan podcast who is a remote viewer. And when he asks, have you remote viewed like the crucifixion or religion? And she just starts going like crazy. Her eyes start going back and forth. So that was just like, man, people are so swayed by religion, and it's everyone's saying someone's wrong, someone's right all the time. You could look at Islam. You can look at different levels of like Hasidic Jews. I've met a lot of different types of Jews, I guess I could say. Muslims, I've met great people in all these, and I've also met horrible people in all these. So it's more just like very tribal in what you truly believe. And when you have so many different verses and Bibles and like what's the original text, this is where people like me who get lost in translation, where I understand believing these, you have to have faith. But when I was going back and reading these Bibles, I tried to do the whole Bible here on YouTube. Actually, it just got to be a lot of work editing and stuff. But just early on in the book, even when you're talking about Noah, the years, the years, how old these people are, you have to have faith to believe in that and totally take away any kind of scientific thought you have in your mind of like, that's how'd they live so old? Like, what kind of vitamins are they taking? I just think you can't have both worlds if you really want to question it, or just you have to be a firm believer and no questions asked, you do what's said, So I hope that kind of helps give you an understanding where I'm at with this stuff and like why I think those people really need to get a debate out there. They need to. I know Gnostic Informant said he wants to do one, so I think they could pop on real quick and it would say a lot very early on into how the conversation would go, even if it doesn't last long. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you've heard of any of these people, what you think, how would it go. I'm really curious to see how this unfolds. I'm going to watch the Joe Rogan episode with Wes Huff tonight. I've been really looking forward to that. And when I say Wes Huff's afraid, I'm a Wes Huff fan. I think I really like his approach with things. I think he's a true expert. But I think that's just real cheap, just to say I just cannot do it. Yes, you can. You can do that. I feel like you're at a point in your career, by how it looks, you can make time. You can make time to do that. So let me know what you guys think. I hope you have a good evening. If you haven't subscribed yet, I would really appreciate it.
Fly me to the moon. Let me play